going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today we want to talk about why Caleb Williams will actually be the first true Chicago Bears franchise quarterback. The 2024 NFL Draft is coming closer and closer, and it's almost draft week, guys. I'm so excited to see what the Chicago Bears are going to do. And that obviously goes beyond the question of who they're going to get with the first overall pick, because I think we all know, and that's why we're talking about Caleb Williams today. But, I mean, the number 9 overall spot actually has so many potential scenarios that could happen. They could stick with that pick. They could trade up. They could trade down. So it's a very exciting weekend. You can expect a lot of actual content of the actual draft and also the players and just analysis of those guys that got actually picked by Chicago. But as I said, today will be all about Caleb Williams and why he will, in my opinion, be the first true great Chicago Bears quarterback if he actually gets put in the right situation and everything works out the way I imagine it to be. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time. Let's start talking about Caleb Williams today. Let's focus on why he will be that guy moving forward. And it all starts off with one very easy point, and it's the situation Ryan Poles has created. And the thing is, the Chicago Bears roster under Ryan Poles truly developed into a actually competitive roster with a mix of good veterans and young stars on the roster that will just make a very good team that could compete for championships moving forward. And I think that's very, very important for Caleb Williams' success early on in his career. Now, what's essential for a young quarterback's success in the NFL and his development? It starts off with coaching and the system. Now, first of all, the Chicago Bears got as their offensive coordinator Shane Waldron from the Seattle Seahawks, and he really runs a QB-friendly system, especially for Caleb Williams. What that means is he really loves a good run game, so overall, DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson will get a lot of great looks in Shane Waldron's offense, and then he loves to add play action to that and work off of that. So it's going to be a lot of Caleb Williams outside of the pocket where he can really operate well and just can be himself, be creative, and make some incredible throws happen, which he already showed at USC. And then it's also a very much YAC-based offense. So what I mean with that is that Shane Waldron will actually create a lot of one-on-ones for the big playmakers, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, which should be easy, quick hitters, quick throws to not get any pressure on Caleb Williams, and those guys can work after the catch then. So this is very much good for a young quarterback, especially for Caleb Williams. Also, Shane Waldron and his coaching staff that he brought with him, especially Kerry Joseph, who's going to be the quarterback's coach in Chicago, both have experience with developing quarterbacks. Especially Waldron helped to develop Geno Smith into the quarterback that he is today, and also Jared Goff, while he was still with the Rams, got significantly better under Shane Waldron. So coaching is the first big point. The second big point of essentials for a young quarterback in the NFL is his supporting cast, and I think Ryan Poles did a phenomenal job of getting Caleb Williams a great roster to work with. Wide receiver wise, we know it. We have one of the best wide receiver duos in the league. There's no denying in that. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen are two top 15 wide receivers, and you can put them in those top 15 guys all around wherever you want them to be. But for me, both guys are actually contenders for top 10 wide receivers in the league. I'm not kidding. So it's actually a very, very good wide receiver duo to start off your young quarterback career with in the league, especially with those two guys, because Keenan Allen is a safety blanket through and through. You can line him up inside and outside as a wide receiver, and he will win his one-on-ones all day. He's such a good route runner, and he will make every catch too. And the same goes for DJ Moore. He can run away from coverage. He's super fast. Just put the ball into his hands and he's going to make something happen for you. So that's very, very easy to operate for Caleb Williams early on in his career. Then the running backs, we got DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson, a really great rotation that can get some yards after contact and just make something happen by themselves. So that's very important for him because he can dump off in the passing game those balls to them. There's some good blockers in Roschon Johnson that can help him out to get more time in the pocket. And then a running game is just so essential for early on success for a quarterback too. So that's really good to have. Then we're talking two really good tight ends too in Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett. Very QB friendly tight ends that can get easy completions going, have some good hands, and also some good YAC ability, especially Gerald Everett in that aspect. And then lastly, the offensive line. How much time is Caleb Williams actually going to have? I mean, for me, it's a much improved offensive line. You have players that are still developing, like Braxton Jones, and potentially the Chicago Bears will go in an offensive tackle direction with the number 9 overall pick. You never know, but I mean, he has been improving over these last 2 seasons, Braxton Jones, but overall 2 very solid tackles, especially Darnell Wright on the right side of the offensive line. He's been a phenomenal player in his rookie season, and I expect him to take the next step in this upcoming season. And also a much improved interior offensive line with more depth now, with Coleman Shelton added and Ryan Bates. So I'm very confident into the offensive line. It's a solid offensive line. It's not a top group in the league, but it should be enough to operate and develop for Caleb Williams. So that's really nice. So I think overall, if Caleb Williams is going to be selected by the Chicago Bears, as we all expect him to do, he's going to enter a very solid situation to develop under, and he should be in a very good situation to start off his young NFL career, especially looking at it from the supporting cast aspect. Now, Caleb Williams obviously offers some stuff himself. I talked about him a couple of times already on the channel. I did a draft profile for him, and I mean, he's just a very much special player in his own right. So what that means is obviously you can be a very solid quarterback with a great supporting cast, but to elevate actually your roster, you need some talent. It is actually factual, and I think Caleb Williams is one of the more talented quarterbacks coming out of the draft over the last decade. I'm not kidding. The guy has showed so many great stuff at USC. He can improve. He can really make every single throw on the field, and he will make some tight window throws that are absolutely incredible. He will find extra gear when he is under pressure, and he already showed on tape that he is a very smart quarterback, right? He does have the recognition of pre-snap alignments. He knows what happens when the ball is snapped and actually something changes. He will recognize that and take advantage of that. So from that perspective, he brings all the tools in the world to work with. Now, is he the biggest quarterback? No, he is not, but I think he still has all the tools to really succeed in this league, and has just an incredible arm, great instincts, and is just an absolute baller that can make some insane throws on the field that are actually Patrick Mahomes like. Is he Patrick Mahomes? Is he going to be Patrick Mahomes? Probably not, but I mean, if he can just reach 70 or 80% of that potential, that's going to be an incredible quarterback in this league. And I mean, who knows? Whatever he develops into, I'm excited, and as I said, what he's going to bring to the team is a very special toolkit to work with. And if he's molding in the right situation, and it's looking like the Bears got a pretty good situation going on, he could be a superstar quarterback in the league, which is very, very special because we never had that truly over a longer period of time in Chicago. And the last point might be something that people will disagree with, but I think personally his personality plays a big aspect of why I think he's going to be a pretty special player. And if there is a place for special personalities in US sports, I think Chicago is well represented in that aspect. Chicago had Dennis Rodman, Mike Ditka, some very special personalities over the years, and they handled it well. I mean, fans, franchises, all aspects of that. So I think Caleb Williams does have a little bit of a special personality, but I don't mind that at all. Look at Andrew Luck. He was kind of a special personality as a quarterback, so why should we worry about that with Caleb Williams? And the most important things I draw out of that is that I do want Caleb Williams in Chicago, absolutely, because he is striving for greatness. He shows emotions and is a true leader, and I think that's nothing bad, showing emotions. I want that as my quarterback in Chicago, and he will do actually everything to win, which we absolutely need at that position. We need somebody who's starving for wins, who wants that championship in Chicago, and I think actually him crying on the sideline over a loss just shows that he cares so much and puts in so much effort, and I think that's actually beautiful and very important to his future success in the NFL. And if you can control these emotions and put that into wins and leading your football team in general, I think that will be absolutely phenomenal. So overall, for me personally, Caleb Williams has everything to become the greatest Bears quarterback of all time and break that curse that we actually never had a 4,000-yard passer in the league, which is still insane to me because we're literally the oldest franchise in the NFL with the Cardinals. So I mean, I would be absolutely happy if he develops into that guy, obviously, but I think all those things mentioned in today's video are great aspects and just indicators that he could actually become that guy and be the true first franchise quarterback of the Chicago Bears. And with that being said, guys, that's the end of the episode. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what you think of Caleb Williams' potential future if the Bears actually draft him. As we know, it's probably going to happen, but still, there's a slim chance that it's not going to happen. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of Caleb Williams' future in the NFL. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out Instagram and Twitter if you want to as well. And as always, guys, bear down.